Okay. We going? I think it's going. Let me see. Hello, people watching this back later. I'm at the studio, so I'm fingers crossed that no technical difficulties happen. Huh. Okay, it's going. It's going. All right. So I thought it would be fun to jump on and talk about Dragontown and the Darkness Below Kickstarter. Whoop. Okay. Brandon. Matthias, what's up? Dudes? Oh, hey, we hit 65,000. Awesome. So halfway to the next stretch goal. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, so my plan is to just jump on and talk about how the Kickstarter's going, look at some stretch goal stuff, and really just answer questions because I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on with this thing. So that's the goal for the stream today. I just filmed a really fun video that is going to come out on Sunday. It's like kind of about making the Dragontown map. Is there an image? Yeah. It's like remaking the Dragontown map. Oh, you can see it in the thumbnail there. It's going to be cool. Yeah, so the goal is to make a Shadowdark version. I think so. Like, okay, well, let's just jump right to it and talk Shadowdark, right? So this is the big, lofty 100,000 goal because this is a big, lofty stretch goal. Like this is a big. It's like basically making another book. I mean, it's just going to be a PDF, but it's like a whole book. I mean, it's a whole book. So it's my pal Michael is, I think originally we were calling it a conversion, but now we're calling it an adaptation just because it like kind of ballooned in scale. My initial thought was like, hey, it'd be cool. Michael has done some converting of other adventures into Shadowdark, so like adapting monsters and stuff like that. But once we got into like actually making this, so we've done a whole sample chapter. You can download it on the page right now. This is what we're looking at here. It's like a full thing. It's not just like here's some extra monster stats, here are how the magic items work. So like, for example, Michael has like it's not like rewritten necessarily, but it's shadow darkified. So like it's presented like the curse scrolls are. And hey JC. And so like, you know, it's like the factions are listed out and then each location is given like a little summary. There's a rumors table. There's a new random encounter tables. Brandon, how's it going, man? We should play Fortnite soon. Oh no, there's a bug. There's a bug in here. Dang. Okay. So yeah, like all of this stuff is pretty much the same as what's in the book, but it's like presented in the Shadowdark way. So like with the bullet points, the little like, you know, when you go into the flooded hall, you know, it's rewritten to work like Shadowdark. So like fountains previously overflowing. That's actually wrong. They are currently overflowing. Yeah, so it's like laid out like a Shadowdark thing basically. So it's like taking the original text and then let's play tomorrow, Brandon. Yeah, so it's taking the original text and like adapting it to the Shadowdark format. More random encounters, like shops. So like the in the system neutral version, the shop is like they kind of just give stuff away because they're trying to like make outsiders happy, these bat people. But like Michael's adapted it to have like actual Shadowdark prices, but you can still like haggle to get the discount and stuff. More NPCs and like, yeah, just it's like totally laid out like the huge, huge project. And the only way this is happening is because I can get Michael's help on it. And then of course the monsters all have actual Shadowdark stats. So it's going to be really, really cool. The Void Spawn. Yeah, and it's gonna be the entire book. So hopefully we can get to that goal and make it happen. If we do, it'll just be an extra PDF that everybody gets. Scipio, congrats on the thank you. Just ran an intro adventure in the Malamir Valley that led to Dragontown for your youngest, their best friend, and their friend's dad, his first time. Yes, that's awesome. I love to hear that. I think part of the challenge of this of the Kickstarter has been like this bug is distracting me. Has been like this is, you know, it is a kid-friendly adventure, but they're also, I mean, it's you know, it's called The Darkness Below. There is some dark stuff in here, and I think it's really like part of my goal was to make it so kids enjoy playing it, but also so adults enjoy playing it. And so there's, you know, like any tabletop role-playing game adventure, how you run it is going to be, you know, what's right for the table. You know what I mean? So like, so if you wanted Dragontown and the Darkness Below to be this really like scary horror game, you could technically do that with everything in the book. So, Ryan, what's up, dude? Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Helvector. The Shadowdark conversion would be sweet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, you know, of course, saying that there's going to be the Shadowdark conversion. You know, some of the questions I have gotten are like, can there be a 5e or a DCC or Dragonbane? And I don't think so. To be totally honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I think this the Shadowdark thing is more of a fun, just a fun extra thing. Like really, it's not hard to convert this stuff to whatever game you're playing. Like the way the system neutral monsters are presented is to make it really, really easy. So why don't I open the preview and I can show that stuff too. Yeah, there's the map of Dragontown, and so just 2 pages. Like, that's really how simple it is. Like, it's actually just a page of advice for how to convert stuff. I think I'm gonna do like a little video on this too. But basically, like right here, I don't know if my cursor's showing up. Right here, there's a scale. I guess technically a scale of 0 to 4 for the monsters, and the way I recommend, let's say, I wish I had a book here. I think I can remember 5e rules good enough. Let's say you're running 5e, right? And you want to use Shadowdark or you want to use Dragontown as an adventure for 5e. And let's scroll down to, let's talk Goatlands. Goatlands, where'd they go? Goatlands are good. Let me move my, whoops, nope. You can see, the Goatland's like peeking right there. Okay, I'm not going to mess with this too much. All right. So let's say you want to run this and your players get to Grandpap's farm and they run into these Goatlands. I mean, a Goatland is basically a goblin, so you could just grab the goblin stat block and use that. So that's one really easy way to do it. Or you could just look. I believe the DMG. I don't know anything about 2024 D&D, but the 2014 stuff, I believe there's a chart. I forget if it's Monster Manual or DMG, where it kind of like shows you like a range of, let's say your players are just level 1 and they go to this farm and fight some Goatlands. Like you can see how much HP and what an AC, appropriate AC is, and what like the damage dice would be. Really, that's all you need for a monster, right? So the Goatland here is presented. It has two like pips in each, 2 out of 4 in each thing. So it means it's completely average. Like it's a completely average kind of monster, right? So like a goblin, maybe this isn't the best example, but like a goblin, it would have the standard amount of hit points, the standard kind of armor, maybe like leather armor or something. Speed is average, so they would move 30 feet. Damage is average, so they would do, it's probably like 1d6 plus 2 or something. Or that might even be high for a level 1. It might even just be like d4 plus 1 or something. Hey, Michael. I just kind of talked about the Shadowdark stuff a little bit, so you might have missed that. And then, so there's those things, like, that was super easy, right? Like, I did that on the fly. I didn't need to do, I don't even really know 5e that well, so if I was running it and I was a little more prepared, I'd probably be able to, like, make up actual numbers on the fly really easily. And then there's the these abilities So like headbutt charges horns first. So maybe like they have some sort of charge attack. Like they get to move, double their move and make an attack or something. Yeah, and then so like Billy Club, there's their attack leaves an adventurer rattled. So is there a stunned mechanic? Maybe that's just like disadvantage on their next attack or something. And then they have kick. So be careful walking behind a goatland. So that would just I would just do like, oh, if your rogue is trying to backstab a goatland and they're flanking or whatever, I would just give the goatland advantage on their attack, and that's it. That's like how easy it is. And so I think whatever game you're playing, it's that easy to adapt this stuff. So yeah, that's how the system neutral stuff works. Like I said, I'm probably gonna make a video like where I actually explain that stuff out, and put it up at some point here soon. But yeah. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, system neutral. It's my favorite. Like have the story stuff in there, and then it's really easy to just have the mechanics for whatever game you're playing. My DCC players got Dragontown coins, custom metal coins from Etsy with dragons on them. Nice. As a token reward when they finish the adventure, they still talk about how, hey, that's awesome, Diego. Yeah, part of the box set. I don't know if you can see it right here. There's going to be two metal coins as part of the box set. Metal coin. I think metal coins. Yeah. So like same kind of thing. You can use it for, to hand out as a reward. You can use it as a D2. You can use it to mark locations on the map. So one of the coins has Xanthoriel, so the gold dragon mayor of Dragontown. Its head is on one side, and then its tail holding a little branch with a magic apple on it is on the back, so like heads and tails. And then on the silver coin, there is a void spawn, the creature that's there in the middle of the GM screen. They're kind of like the main like reoccurring minion creature that happens. It's in this adventure. It's kind of like a little piece of the darkness below kind of manifests and turns into this like magic hungry creature that runs around causing trouble all over the place in the adventure. So there, a void spawn is on one side, and then the Star Heart, which is kind of like one of the big deal magic items in the adventure, is represented on the other side. So I'm really psyched to get these coins made. Yeah, I think people are excited about Shadowdark. The K5K backed all in. Yeah. That's what I love to hear. So yeah, hit me with questions if there's something that's unclear about the campaign or anything like that. I can clarify. So I guess let's talk stretch goals. We just hit 65,000, which is insane to say out loud. I need to update the what people are saying section. I forgot about that. I got a few more quotes from that. So yeah, stretch goals. What we've unlocked so far. We've unlocked two. Wait, 2 postcard dungeons. So hold on, let me grab, where is it? Now this is a little smaller. This is a little smaller than what's going to be in the, what the reward is going to be. I think this is a 5x7, or maybe it's 4x6 even. Might be 4x6. Little dungeon. This is what, if you order from my website, you just get this little the Soggy Ruins of Sentinel Hill for free, like in as a little extra thanks for ordering kind of thing. So map on the front, and then all the information. I'm trying to get it so it's not like too glary. All the information for the adventure on the back. It's a little like 7-room dungeon kind of thing. Real simple. I think it's actually super fun. Like this is, I say that the individual chapters in Dragontown like can be run as one shots. They're really like more 2, 3, 4 shots. To me, this is more of a one shot. So these postcard dungeon stretch goals will be like true one shot kind of thing. So let me go back over here. So the first one is the Lunar Tower postcard, and this comes from me. I'm going to switch back over here and I'll go show you. So random encounters while exploring the Malamir Valley. So this number 6 is the Lunar Tower. Every full moon, a lonely tower appears on a hill. Basically, I'm taking this random encounter and making it into a full thing. So the Lunar Tower is a combatless dungeon, so it's like more trap puzzle kind of dungeon. And then the next one is the Netherhold Vault. So also in the preview chapter, nope, here. We go down here to Netherhold. It's the underground. It's like an ancient underground dwarven city that like all of it was actually like technologically advanced, but the darkness below came through and wrecked everything. So all the dwarves from this city have left the underground and gone elsewhere. Maybe that's something that will get explored at a later time. But part of this Netherhold, you can kind of get to it from a few different ways. So I'm adding in this vault as like a different way to get in. And there's like a cool magic item at the end of it. And there's going to be some like ghosts and also like underground digging monsters as part of it. Okay, let me catch up here. The Dark Saplings, hello. The postcard dungeons flesh out the I wouldn't say they flesh out the chapters. I would say they're like little, because the chapters are already fleshed out. They're like little additional things that like here and there. So like when we get to 70,000, the sleepy town of Barrowmere, this one, so they're, let me get it on the screen there. The Barrowmere is kind of like the next town over from Dragontown, and it's mentioned very briefly. Like there's an NPC in the Ugly Mug Tavern who is all frustrated because they came to Dragontown to buy a cart full of apples to then take back to Barrowmere to sell and distribute through the town. And a bunch of slimes ate all of their apples. So they're really frustrated. They like send their son back to Barrowmere to get their donkey and their other cart or something and like bring it back so they can get more apples. But Barrowmere, it's like just briefly mentioned in the Dragontown adventure, and it's like on the way to the Troll Bog, which is also briefly mentioned. And so the sleepy town of Barrowmere is going to be, it's just going to be a little town map, and there's a little mystery of why the town is sleepy that the players can uncover, and maybe it will lead them further into the Troll Bog, which might come later at some point. Yeah. Oh, and then we've also unlocked like an upgraded GM screen. I'm really... I mean, the two other stretch goals we've unlocked are ones I really, really wanted to happen. So the GM screen that comes in the box set is like going to be like actual... instead of just cardstock, it's going to be like board over, you know, like the cover of a hardcover book. Itchy nose. Whoa. And then the other one is the dice bag for the dice. So I'm coloring up the dice to be like little magic apples, and I wanted to have like a burlap sack looking dice bag to keep them in. So we've unlocked those, and then we'll have a card box for the magic item cards. I actually have not designed this box yet. The magic item card box. Tuck box, I think is what it's technically called. Ooh, man, sorry, my nose. I imagine it'll probably be like same way that the dice bag is for the magic apples. The box for the magic item cards will be probably like a treasure chest kind of deal. You know, keep it thematically like, you know, like the treasure chest that you would find in Xanthoriel's Hoard in the Malamir Castle. Yeah, the postcard dungeons are really fun. Like, you know, a big part of this campaign was, you know, I wanted to have the book done. So that's done. And I wanted to have like pretty much everything designed. So like I said, I haven't designed the magic item card box. I have a big surprise I'm going to show you in a little bit here. But the like actual box is like half designed. Because I've been waiting for something that just arrived in the mail yesterday. So now that that's here, like that can basically, I didn't want to. I want this whole project to get to you as soon as possible, and as soon as possible is still like we're talking May, June of next year is how long it takes to make all of this stuff. Scipio, hey, thanks. Thank you. You have a good one too. But I didn't want to be like making a bunch of extra stuff or like, you know, with some of these stretch goals, like the postcard dungeon is like the right size. Like I can probably make one of these postcards in like a day or two. And so, you know, but if I'm making a ton of extra stuff, it's just going to delay the project more and more, right? And there's a fine line of when that becomes work. Like, do you really want to wait an extra 3 months to get all this stuff just to have like one more little adventure or something? So the postcards are like, I feel like the perfect way. They're I don't want to make it seem like it sounds slight because I don't think it is. I think these are actually really fun additions that, like, you know, even though it's just one postcard front and back, we're talking a full night of gaming here, right? Times hopefully 4. So I think the postcards are a really cool extra thing to do. you've read the preview PDF, thank you. From Brazil, right on, Rafael. That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. So then, oh yeah, the other stretch goal is the Secret of Sherwood Farm. And so this Sherwood Farm is briefly mentioned as, I believe there's a quest hook. Let me find it here. Adventure hook. So one of the adventure hooks that you could kind of get your players, to want to visit Dragontown is a distant relative has left their dilapidated farmstead to one of the adventurers. And that is Sherwood Farm. So this could be one of the things that always happens in my games that I play in and also that I run is that my players always want a cool home base, and having their own farm in the middle of this valley filled with magic apple farms seems like the cool thing to do. So yeah, one of the postcard dungeons is going to be this farm that like has some stuff going on. The players can go solve it and then have like a cool home base to come back to in between adventures into the underground. Keith, what's up, dude? And Evan, hey man, thank you. Everybody, check out Nimble Co. They've typed in the chat. Evan just made a really, really wonderful video flipping through the Dragontown preview book and talked about using the system neutral stuff and how to adapt it to his game Nimble, which is going to be awesome. And Evan streams a bunch, like doing development for the game. Super, super cool stuff. Definitely give Nimble Co. A follow on here. Your D&D version, is it plenty easy to understand than the usual D&D? I wanted to get into the D&D universe for a long time, but feels overwhelming and complicated. Yes, I'm gonna, I guess, like brag a little bit and say that this adventure is way, 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 way easier to run than the typical big 5e adventure. I mean, there's, if you've never run D&D before, once you kind of get the hang of how the stats for stuff works in combat, it'll be really easy to adapt the stuff in here. And then just as far as running the adventure as like a what happens next kind of thing, I think this is way, way easier. So it doesn't have all of the like game mechanics stuff, but I think because it takes that out, it allows you to just make those decisions on the fly, what makes the most sense in the moment, instead of like getting stuck trying to look up and cross-reference and all of this and that. I think it's easier. My personal opinion. Yeah, Keith, I got what is that game? I got the game you guys have been playing, something like Daryl's something or another. I bought the game thinking I was going to play with you guys, and then I've been a little busy. with some of this stuff. So, yeah, hit me with some questions here. Got you doodling maps again? Yes, Chris, right on. I guess, yeah, so another big part of the this campaign is all of the stretch goals. So all of the what did I think there's like 28 zines that I have made since all of this stuff are also available as stretch goals. And I put them into packages here to give a little bit of a discount, make it easier. So there's in the last live stream I did a big whole like deep dive on all of these things. So I won't go through it that much, but more adventure type stuff to add. So like if you just need more stuff to throw into the world, like these zines have got you covered. And then the map making zines, if you want to learn to draw your own maps, these are kind of like my most popular zines here. You don't have to have any drawing experience, and you can like learn to draw cool maps. So I'm really proud of all of these. I was thinking of running Dragontown as a journaling solo campaign. You have any tips and suggestions doing that? Yeah, so the way Dragontown is formatted, let me show you here on the preview document. Yeah, this is where it starts. So basically, each chapter is a new location, and each chapter starts off with like a little bit of history about the location, like kind of what's going on beforehand, and then and sort of like how it ties into the world around it. Then there's this adventure awaits section, and this is basically where if you want to pull out a chapter as a one shot, you can kind of start here. It gives like a little overview, and then you can use the adventure hooks to like get in from a one-shot perspective. So I think if you're doing a solo journaling game, these first sections are kind of spoilery, but also have some kind of like helpful background information. So you can kind of go either way. You can just leave it behind and like not know that stuff and kind of like get hints and uncover it as you go, or you can read it to kind of know what the gist of, because each chapter is kind of its own, almost like its own kind of game. So like this chapter is 3 different areas, but then there's like some point crawl chapters, there's some hex crawl chapters, there's some traditional dungeon chapters. So kind of like sets up that stuff. But if you're okay not knowing that, you can just jump in. Or you can read it, get an idea of how that works, and then just kind of like try and keep that, like what the stuff that I know is not what my character knows, kind of thing, right? And then you can go from there. But then it's like this Netherhold dungeon is just like any other dungeon. It's got the rooms listed out. And so, like in this area 1, you don't when you're starting your solo game, you don't know what's going on, but then you see that there's a Morlock ambush that happens, and how do you deal with it and go from there. So I think it works pretty well. Michael, who is doing the Shadowdark stuff, just posted Night Noon Games on YouTube. Just posted, that's Night Noon, like midnight, Night Noon Games. Sorry, I made that more confusing. Night Noon Games on YouTube. Just posted a really great solo playthrough of the Shadowdark version of this, like just the beginning, like first few encounters kind of thing. Yeah, so let's see. Any tips for older adults who want to get into D&D for the first time but don't even know anybody else interested in playing? If you Sorry, I skipped some here. Okay, I'm gonna run through some questions. I tend to go on and on. If you, what's the best way? Actually, Keith, since you live here in town, the game store. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. Woodburn Games. Every month they have like an indie RPG day, and I think they might do 5e stuff too. But I'm pretty sure it's the first Saturday of every month. It changes, but you can follow them on social media. And I've gone and I've played I played Pathfinder. I played Mothership. There, you can just go. I think it's $5, and people from our area run the games you can play. See if you like playing, and then if you really like it, you can maybe run a game yourself. And then if you say like, hey, I wanna play this game, I'm gonna handle all of the rules and running it and stuff. Of course, there's like whatever game you want to play. There's YouTube videos about how to learn how to play it. There's YouTube videos. I think watching actual plays is a really great way to learn a system. So you can kind of learn. And then if you say like, hey, I'm going to run this thing, do you want to play? People, your friends will want to get together and play for sure. That's how I did it. So, okay, let me go back here. Trying to run. Okay, solo journaling. Favorite monster and favorite magical item in the book? Ooh. I'm bad about, like, picking favorite stuff. Favorite monster... I'm so bad about like I never have favorite things. I just make the stuff that I like. Okay, here's the actually fun thing that pops up. Is it on there? It is on there. Okay. So in the book, there is this Nif monster, the Nif. It's basically like, I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's one that came to mind. But it's basically like a giant fart cloud, like horrible smelling. It's inside the plum wax kobold's cavern. So these kobolds have these like, it's just a maze of caverns where they're like digging stuff out, putting traps everywhere and stuff. And they've captured and trapped this fart monster and like kind of sealed it away. And this Nif, I guess a Nif is like a pretty common like UK, like British word for smelly. And so, but I have this poster of invisible things on my wall, like right over here. I'm not gonna mess with the camera setup. It's too like tripoded in, but it's like the poster I have hanging right here next to me. And so like when I'm in the studio writing a bunch, I end up looking over, and a few of the things from this invisible things poster have ended up in the book. But one of them, so it's like little cartoon characters of actual invisible things. So there's like hope and grief and gloom and echo and mystery, pizzazz, gravity, a wish, and one of them is Nif. So like, and he's this little like green cloud with a angry face. So it's like a smelly fart character, and I just stole it, and made a whole monster out of it in this adventure. And the magic item, oh my gosh. Well, the King's Claw. I don't want to make this sound like there's no original ideas in this book, because that's not the case. But the two things I'm kind of like latching onto: the King's Claw is basically the Master Sword. It's it's a sword that when you strike, there's other abilities that it has, but the kind of main ability it has is when once wounded by the King's Claw, an immortal creature can no longer heal its wounds. So like having the King's Claw is like kind of one of the keys to defeating the darkness below. And the reason I don't think it's actually that interesting of an item. It's the Master Sword. It's like a powerful sword, right? It's cool, but not that unique compared to some of the other items in here. But one of the chapters completely revolves around acquiring that, and it's the Windsong Woods. It's a mysterious changing forest. It's a hex crawl through this forest, but it's not like one hex leads to the next. So there's this mechanic about how the wind song, this song that plays on the wind inside this forest, like kind of changes things. And so the quest to get that item is more what I think is cool than the actual item. Okay, I want to hear more about adjusting the tone, i.e. running a fun time adventure for kids versus running grim Shadowdark for adults. Okay, yeah, totally. Let's look at the maps flipping through again for a minute. You'll get a sense of like what some of the chapters are all about. Okay, so let's take the Windsong Woods for example. So this is chapter 3. So it can totally be a Zelda exploring the woods, running into weird creatures and stuff. But there's also a heavy Princess Mononoke inspiration in this one. So all of the creatures inside these woods are like covered in this muck, and it's basically like the darkness below. It's these magical woods, right? And the darkness below wants to eat all the magic in the world and consume it and just spread everywhere, cover everything in darkness. And so these magical woods that are, above the underground where the darkness below lurks, because there's magic, the darkness below is like infecting it with this muck, right? And so there's like all these creatures that are covered in this black muck. So there's like bats, corrupted bats. There's corrupted wolves, stag beetle, like big stag beetle things. The corrupted pig, this like giant pig is like the boss. And so there's stuff in here, like you could totally like go gnarly with it and like oil spill, like I sort of think of, even Princess Mononoke is pretty gnarly. But I sort of think of like oil spill type things where like these, poor creatures are in trouble and stuff. And there's like, it can be lighthearted things. So like one of the, here's a good example. Once you get further into the woods, into region 3, the Golden Grove, one of the encounters is the pine cone celebration. As night falls, living pine cones dance and sing festive versions of the Wind Song. If the adventurers have respected the Wind Song woods, they will be welcomed to the party and taught how to sing the Wind Song proper, and that will mean that they can navigate the woods however they need to, if they know the actual Wind Song. That's where that encounter ends. You could run that like like, hey, these little pinecone dudes are having a fun, like straight out of Adventure Time, fun party or whatever. Or you could do more Shadowdark, and they're like casting some crazy ritual, and when the players stumble upon them, they get attacked by these menacing pinecone creatures that sting and lacerate, and because the players don't know the Wind Song. You know what I mean? So like you can go however you want to go with it, right? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try and catch up here. I might have lost it. Shopkeeper zines are really great and can plug and play in any campaign. Thank you. Yeah, those are some of my favorite zines. There's a lot of in this collection, the bustling streets and unsavory alleyways and perilous nope, that's not right. In this collection, the unscrupulous emporiums and miraculous markets. These are like magic item collections, and this is actually where a lot of the sort of like extra world building I do gets thrown into these zines. There's like a lot of clues about the larger fantasy world that I'm very, very slowly creating with all this stuff. Have you thought about making several versions of your books in several languages other than English, Norwegian or Icelandic, for example? Yeah, so basically I would have to like partner with people to do that, because I don't speak any other languages, and would need a lot of help with translating. The problem I've run into, I've only had like a couple of little conversations here and there about it, but I'm so particular with the way the book is made, the way the layout and everything works. I need to find the right partner. So that's one thing about the Shadowdark adaptation with Michael, is I know that he's the right dude for the job, basically. And so I would love to have this book translated into other languages to make it more widely accessible. But I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the right way. And so that means, basically finding the right partner. And that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to get this stuff made right now. Once this is out in the world in this version, then I can start thinking about other versions, other language versions. Saving that video for later. Woodburn. I think it's. I think that's right. Woodburn Games. I guess this is good for everybody. If you're ever in the Cincinnati area, Woodburn Games. I guess Woodburn is like the neighborhood. It's like the college area of Cincinnati. But yeah, Woodburn Games is great. Yeah. Favorite monster, fart cloud. Got it. Yep. Got the original Dragon Town, some of the drawing books. Yeah. Thanks, Dirk. Sorry if I missed you. The Coconut Sailors in Moana. I don't remember the Coconut Sailors or what we were talking about that made you say that, but I wanna is Moana 2 out yet? I wanna watch some of the more recent. I kinda haven't, like Inside Out 2 just came out on Disney Plus. I wanna watch that. I wanna watch some of the recent Disney stuff because I really wanna run Perils and Princesses for some friends here. So I want to like kind of get in the spirit, you know, and watch some of that stuff. I should watch the old Disney movies. Really, if I want to get, but I don't know. The new stuff seems maybe cooler too. This might make a crazy noise. Nope. Okay, good. Gotta hydrate. Do I have a favorite chapter in the book? Or the one you had the most fun running? Ooh. What did I have the most fun running? When I play tested. What is the... Man, it's so hard to pick a favorite. They're all like... They're all so different. So there's like a chapter where the players get eaten by a giant worm and have to like kind of work their way through this giant worm. That's got a lot of weird, fun characters in there. The next one is like an underground hex crawl where there's like all these corrupted mushrooms and stuff. It's really fun. This like lava area. There's a wizard's tower with a bunch of portals in it, so you don't know, like you're exploring this wizard's tower and you don't know which room you're gonna end up. Like you go through the door. There's like one door in each room. You go through the door and you like end up in different rooms, so you like never know where you are inside this wizard's tower. That one's really fun. The Sky Garden. So like most of the adventure happens underground, but then you can get teleported up into this into these clouds, like way up in the sky, where these giants live. That they like pluck stars out of the skies and eat them. And you kind of like can learn about the origins of the darkness below in that chapter. A bunch of weird characters in that chapter. So like there's this like little swamp you're up in the clouds, but there's a swamp and there's these like three-eyed frog punks that they're called bog frogs, and they're like kind of like shithead punk guys that they have a third eye that allows them to detect lies, and they are mortal enemies with the Knights of the Feather. So there's a tree it's called the Sky Garden, so it's a cloud with this like big garden in it. And so there's a tree that all of these dodo birds live in, and they're all like knights. They're like dodo birds in like shining armor, and they're all like chivalrous knights. But they never like fight anything, and like the dodo birds and these bog frogs are like fighting, are like always kind of at war with each other just because their ideas of how things should be are different. So like that's cool. And that's like just a random thing that's going on in this place that doesn't really have anything to do with the darkness below or these giants. And yeah, so that, I mean, hopefully that gives an idea of like what this stuff is all about. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and get through some of these. I'm so bad. See, it's already 8. Let me try and get through these questions. Really like your simple, easygoing art style and almost childlike imagination. Look forward to what you come up. Thank you. That's like a wonderful, lovely, lovely compliment. I really appreciate that. The vampire from the Unscrupulous Emporium is your party's best friend. That's amazing. Yeah, so that vampire basically got chased out of their castle by like villagers because he was being a jerk, and like got in his like packed his carriage with all his like vampire goods, all like his valuable stuff from his manor, and like took off and like got out of there. And so your players can run into him, and he's basically like, hey, I need some money. Is there anything in this carriage full of crazy vampire magic items that you want? And like maybe he'll give you a discount if you let him like suck some of your blood. Translator for English to German, and can tell you I wouldn't want to lay out such a book. Yeah, yes. That is the tricky part, and that's why I feel like it has to be right. Yep. I mean, I'm sure German is probably harder than some other languages, but it's the same. That's the thing with how I did the layout of this book. It works with the way I do things, but asking somebody else to get in to the layout and adjust things, like, it becomes really difficult. Looking forward to it's something I really want to do. Chowcalypse, yes, thank you, dude, thank you. I think I was lurking in your stream the other day when you were drawing some was it Morktober? It was like some gnarly, like tech sci-fi monster stuff, like really awesome. Like you've gotten really, really good at illustrating. I've seen the progression since I've been a fan. Will the overall box be an actual starter set box, or more like sleeve insert the contents into it? If it's a box, would it be cool to design inside to be dice trays? Okay. Nathan, I'm going to come back to your question, because that's kind of the big surprise that I wanted to show at the end of this. Pinecone guys having a party. Yeah. Make a stretch goal for the postcard for the flying folks that live at the top of the... That's not a bad idea. It's got a crazy name. So the Shadespeare Mountains is a point crawl, and I wanted to kind of flip. This was like my excuse to like show off how I think of orcs and elves in my world. So orcs, and not all orcs, but generally speaking, orcs are very in tune with the land that they live on. So the orcs and the Shadespeare orcs that kind of look after these mountains live on top of the highest mountain, and it's called Shindrat-Shamal. Shindrat-Shamal is the name of their city on top of this mountain, and it's just like sort of, there's like 4 paragraphs of stuff about it. It's kind of this mysterious place that not many people get invited to. So that could be a very cool postcard dungeon. Homebrewed the City. Yeah, so maybe that could be a cool one. Oh no. My intention is to talk about this box. Already backed for the box set. Right on, Steven. Yeah. Okay, Evan. I'll hit you up. We'll be talking. All right. Let me show you this. What I got in the mail yesterday. Let's just look. It's always fun to look when I remember. 65K. That's insane. That is insane. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. If you're hanging out, want to check out more info about the Kickstarter, it's there in the chat. Also linked in the description if you're watching this later. Ton of info on the Kickstarter page. Okay. Let me switch this, and I'm just gonna hold this stuff up. So I'm gonna do, I think in next week's update on the Kickstarter. I've written 2 updates so far. I'm trying to like not flood it with too much stuff. So next week, I think I'm gonna do just a little video showing this off. So right here, I'm just gonna show it a little bit, and then expect like a full unboxing, I guess, in next week's update on the Kickstarter. So basically, this is unprinted proofs. So this is the box set that everything is coming in. It is big and heavy, but it's just white. So everything in here there's no printing, but this is like what it is gonna look like, minus the printing, obviously. So the box. This is the book. This is the book with the red cloth spine. I don't know that this is quite the right red color, but this is the book with all the correct paper and stuff in here, and there's just a black ribbon. The ribbon is going to be like yellow gold, and so still working out like the correct colors of everything, where there's colors of things that aren't printed. So I'm going to kind of skip over the other content. So like GM screen, folded maps, postcards will go in there. Magic cards in the tuck box, totally unprinted. So it's a big like, it's 52 cards, but because I want you to be able to write on these, one side is like nice and uncoded, where the other side that's gonna have the dragon artwork is coded, kind of like the box and the book. There is the dice bag, and the coins. I'm gonna wait to show that. And then inside, I don't know if you can see this super well. There's this tray. So like the cards and everything kind of like fits in the tray there. It might be kind of hard to see. Cards, dice, coins, all the extra stuff fits in this tray, right? I have gotten a few questions about a box to hold if you get a bunch of the zines, add-ons. Like, is there a box to hold that? Well, what you can do is take out this interior tray, and this interior tray is actually going to be printed too. So there's going to be like some fun box design stuff. But you can take this out, and then, if you like want to maybe have your cards and your dice out separately, and then this is gonna get a little. Oh, here, I can just use this one. Then you can have your book in the box with all the zines, and there's plenty of space. And there it is. So really, really excited about this. You can tell by the mock-up photos on the Kickstarter page. Originally, the box was much thinner and it had more space up top for some of the extra stuff. But then when I decided to add the magic item cards in, they didn't really fit. So then we had to go back and like redesign all of this, and it's going to be really stinking cool. So to kind of answer your question, Nathan, the intention of the box set is to give, it's really meant to be like the hey, if you want to play this on a table, like in person, you're going to get the book, you're going to get all the magic item cards to hand out to your players, you're going to be able to use the dice and the coins and have the player facing maps that are 11 by 17 that you can fold out and lay on the table. So all of that. So it's not necessarily a starter set. I do think that this adventure is a fantastic starting adventure. I mean, that was the intention of the original. What is chapter 1 and chapter 2 in Dragontown? The like actual Dragontown stuff was meant to be a starting adventure. So I think it's a great starting adventure. But the box set is really all about like having the physical stuff. Oh, and the DM screen. So you'll have the artwork is on the the Kickstarter page or whatever. This is just the blank, but wrapped cardboard. It's like sturdy DM screen. Gonna be great. So it's like to have everything cool at the table, basically. Casey, thank you. Looking forward to getting the box set. Yes. Possible Nimble collab. I mean, I think Nimble is really, really cool. Definitely go check out the video of Evan flipping through, because he does an awesome job of showing how the system neutral stuff works and how easily converted to in this case Nimble, but really how easily it is to convert all this stuff to whatever system you're running. Big influence, making your own zine. I was hoping for a hardcover combination of the zines for a good while. Yeah. I'm really, I got all these components spread out all over the desk here. It's cool to have all this stuff. I'm really proud of how this book has turned out and come together. It's taken a long time, but it's gonna be cool. Really cool stretch goal would be some sort of carton sleeves with the main NPC artwork printed, so they can be cut out and used as paper miniatures. I think so. This was a question I've gotten before, like paper miniatures. I considered doing cardboard tokens, but okay, there's two things that are holding me back. So the way I'm presenting the maps and stuff, it's not really like battle map. It's not really how I run games, like in a 5 foot square grid where you're moving around and stuff. And not to say that you definitely can play this that way. However, there's over 100 NPCs in this collection. So to do miniatures for all of the enemies, like the box would go from this size to like this size. I mean, it would become this whole other thing. And so I think for where the project is right now, where it is with the amount of work that I can put in and not delay getting it out, because like that would be like, you know, there's a lot of NPCs that are illustrated in this for sure. But it would just be like kind of an unattainable amount of work, and it would delay having that stretch goal. As cool as it would be to have a huge collection of all of the miniatures and stuff, it would really delay the production of the book and box set. So I think it's just a little bit out of the scope of this project. But that is not to say, but I do have plans in the back of my mind for stuff like that. Maybe not Dragontown specific, but yeah, I got ideas for miniature stuff. Portrait cards. That's interesting. Portrait cards. I will think about that. Because there's probably a way to do... There's just so many. That's a good... It's interesting. No promises, but interesting idea. Yeah, the box set's gonna be rad. It's gonna be rad. Like, it's a, you know, the reason I'm doing just a video for the update, it's not gonna be like a full on video for my channel, is it's kind of boring to look at, like, cause it's just all blank white. Like if it had all the illustrations and stuff on it, I would absolutely make a full on video about all of it. But you know, it's just like, here are the magic item cards, you know, it's like, okay. So yeah, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be so cool. Congratulations, good luck. Thank you, Nico. Yeah, let's just make, you know, 100 plus 3D modeled miniatures. Yeah, that's no problem, right? Ooh, convert portrait cards into initiative tints. Interesting. I'm working on a TTRPG and dream to finally have my book in my hands. And you have Dragontown. Keep going on that dream, because the feeling of like completing something, like even in a digital form, is really awesome. But you can kind of like add on to that feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment when you turn it into a real thing. Yeah, so keep going. Digital format for NPC portraits so we can print them out. Yeah, that might be... I gotta look at that and think about like how much extra work that is, because like I said, I don't want to be I don't want to add stuff that I don't want to add too much extra work that will delay this getting sent out. So if we go like too much new stretch goal stuff, that means that you'll just have to wait longer. And there's a I can't think of the word, but there's a like not cost benefit analysis, but there's like it's like time benefit. I don't know how to say it, but like, is it worth waiting a whole lot longer to get like a reward that might not be like the most useful thing? That kind of thing. Is there anything extra that could just be PDFs? So there will be PDFs of all of the maps, all of the item cards. So if you do just the trade-offs. If you do just get the PDF, the digital version, or if you get any version, there will be PDFs of the magic item cards that you can print yourself if you want to. I guess the GM screen, I'll probably do a version of that you can stick together yourself if you want. But the maps, the postcards, the book obviously will have the PDF. So there will be there'll be PDFs of everything. I guess there won't be PDFs of the dice and the coins, but everything else will have. I mean, technically there won't be a PDF of the box, or if we make it to the magic item card box, there won't be that, but everything else, yeah. Okay, so my intention was to stream for an hour, and we're at an hour 20. Are there any last minute questions? I hope I clarified some things. I'll be doing updates every week. Stay tuned for a video on Sunday that I'm really psyched on, that I just finished filming. I think it's going to be super cool. And I'm going to do some little extra videos here and there, I think. I'm going to do one about the system neutral stuff. I'm going to do one about Shadowdark. And I think there was... Oh, and then like the unboxing thing, that'll be the update. Okay. Would the one-shot dungeon postcards be available to purchase or have their own rewards section in the campaign? So basically those stretch goals, like if you... The one-shot dungeons are sort of the maybe like Kickstarter exclusive kind of thing. So if you back at the digital level, you'll get the digital version of the postcard. If you back at the hardcover level or the box set level, you'll get the actual postcards. But those are meant to be the like exclusive Kickstarter extras. I guess I should explain that a little bit better. So yeah, those are exclusive to getting the book and the box set, basically. It'd be cool to see your project as a console game too, not just a board tabletop game. I mean, that sounds rad. The Morkborg dudes are doing a video game right now. It looks super cool. That's a whole nother level of craziness. I don't know. I mean, I would love to do... I've been playing UFO 50, and there's a dungeon crawler game in there called Valbrace, I think is what it's called. That's super fun. That's like... it's kind of like I've thought about making this game before in the past, where it's like punch out mechanics mixed with the first person dungeon crawling adventure. So like instead of just You're walking down the hallway and you hit a monster, and then you like click the button to attack, and you wait for your bar to fill up where you can click your attack button again. It would like go into punch out mode where you like have to dodge, and like all the different monsters have their different mechanics, and that's basically what they've made, and it's awesome. It's kind of hard like all the other games. And but so yeah, UFO 50 is like, oh, it's so cool. It's 50 games in one collection. I don't need to go on and on about that, but I've like had ideas like that. They made it and it's awesome, but I'd love to make like an old school RPG too. The version in that game that's like a Wild West kind of old school RPG with like the random encounter stuff. Super cool. You've backed the box set. I keep saying that wrong. Do you think you'll ever create a TTRPG using your own rule set instead of D25? I have been noodling on my own RPG. I have like a Google Doc with stuff, and it'll happen eventually. I really like Tunnel Goons. What I don't love about Tunnel Goons is the subtraction math that you have to do. So like right now in my head, my ideal system would be like a D6. Sorry, my throat's getting scratchy from all the yapping. I think my ideal system would be like basically Tunnel Goons except for you add, so in Tunnel Goons you roll 2d6 and you're trying to hit a DC. I think I would have more fun where it'd be like a dice pool. So you're like trying to get a 5 or a 6 on your dice roll, but if you use your equipment or your background or one of your stats or something, you would get to add extra dice to your roll. I think that would be more fun. And you're not adding up the dices. You're just trying to get a 5 or a 6 on the dice. So I want to get rid of the math, basically. But then how that like actually translates to doing damage and stuff, like I would like there to be something a little bit more interesting than like you deal 1 damage to a thing, or so I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It would be very simple, but it's gonna happen eventually for sure. PDF with dice isn't that difficult. Yeah, I mean there's a D20 in there. Is there a level we can back where we get showered in stickers? You have cool stickers. Oh, yeah. So that's another like. I think I'm gonna do some new stickers for Black Friday. So they'll maybe get some new stickers on the shop, and maybe even a new freebie postcard since I've been rocking this one for a year. For the shop, but Overbold. Which one is Overbold? I really liked in UFO 50. I really liked a tactics. It's like 2 forts and like little dudes come out of the forts. And I think there's like 5 rows, and they sort of like each turn, it like counts down, and each turn your little dudes like move forward, and they like clash into each other, and there's like a rock paper scissor element to it a little bit. So like, the basic unit has like 3 health. They can get hit 3 times, and they do melee damage. They're like a little knight guy, and they have archers that have like 1 health, but they can shoot the entire row. And so it's like you keep those dudes in the back and like have them pick off the guys, and then they have like cavalry guys that move 2 spaces forward so they can like rush down. Basically, once you want your guys to like get through to the other fort, and then they like do damage against the fort and disappear off the map, and like each fort has 5 health. I don't know. I really like that one. And then Bushido Ball is crazy. Like it's like a dodgeball, but you're like these like ninja samurai people, and each character has their own special attack, and you're like sword hitting the ball back and forth. That one's really fun. Overbowl is a little arena shooter like Smash TV, and you can raise the stakes. Yes. That dude, I always raise the stakes too much and get rocked. And then like the final round is insane in that. So I see, like, I get it. I haven't played it enough where you gotta like raise the stakes enough so you have enough money to upgrade your stuff so you can like actually survive in the last round. Yeah, that one's cool. It's pretty much exactly what I'm making now. It's 2d6 system and basing it off the die faces instead of the math numbers. Yeah. I really, I'm so frustrated. Wanted the Adventure Time RPG to be the original. It was like the yes and yes no system, where the dice didn't even have numbers. The dice just said yes or no, and they were color coded. So like if you were really good at a skill, you'd have like a blue one. If you were okay at a skill, you would use the yellow dice. And if you were really bad at a skill, you would use the red dice. So if you were really bad at like doing athletic stuff and you tried to like jump over a fence, you'd have to roll the red dice, and the red dice would have more no's on it than yeses. And so it would just tell you, did you do the thing, yes or no? And then you have an extra dice that has ands or buts on it. So you'd roll that and see like, no, you didn't jump over the fence, but, and then the GM could make up the thing. And I met this guy, Matt Fantastic, at Gen Con. He was like the first person I met when I was at Gen Con. He was just standing there, and I ran up to him. I was like, oh, man. Handed him the Dragontown book, and then like I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a fan of your stuff, like from the Adventure Time. And then I could see the look in his face where he was bummed on it, because I think, they decided to go 5e instead of his awesome system. And so I didn't have the courage to like, ask him what happened or anything. But yeah, that's that story. Okay. I think I'm going to call it here. Please go check out the Kickstarter page. Thank you all for the support. Everybody who's backed it already. I'm like, this is crazy. It's been so much work, and it's been really amazing to have everybody's support on this project. I'm just trying to make the coolest book and box set possible, and still deliver it as quickly as possible. And yeah, it's just been such a fun experience to try and figure all of this stuff out and make it happen. So, I just hate how focused most of the solo games on gore and dark storytelling. I want something whimsical and fun. I think this is the adventure for you then. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, right on. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Yeah, check out the Kickstarter page. Gonna unlock some more stretch goals. Get that. What's the next one? The next one's the sleepy town of Barrowmere. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun postcard. So, All right. Yeah. Everybody have a good night. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I'll see you in the next one.